Thanks, Chrissy, for that. Thanks for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for Jackson and the crew and his team for putting on this organisation and the sponsors. It's year in, year out, it gets better and better from what I hear, and it's the first time we've been here. It's a pleasure to be back in front of the peers and investors to talk about Estrella Resources and what an opportunity it is. And it's a significant opportunity, and thanks Amy for giving me a bit of a calming down, but I am going to get a bit excited today, and I'm really going to go out there and step out on a limb. I think Estrella's on the verge of another 10-bagger and maybe more. So keep that in mind as I run through this presentation. For those that don't know Estrella, we're a small micro-cap explorer based in Perth, Western Australia. We've shifted focus from sulphide nickel in northeastern goldfields to Timor-Leste, as Chrissy has mentioned. It's a very short flight from Darwin, regular flights from Qantas. We can go from Perth and be in Dili and on site by the afternoon in one day, so it's a fabulous destination for us and our team. It's unexplored by any modern sense of the word, and Estrella is the very first company to be exploring in Timor-Leste under the new mining code that was passed in legislation in 2021. Usual disclaimer, this presentation has been lodged with the ASX. Please feel free to view that at your discretion, and feel free to come and talk to me. I'll be here for the rest of the day. So why Estrella and why Timor? Well, it's quite simple. We're a first mover into an unexplored region. It's highly prospective for gold, copper and manganese, as we've found out. And we have strong governmental support, which is sometimes lacking in Western Australia, unfortunately, in the last little arena. We have strong in-country relationships that I've built up over a very long period. And there's excellent infrastructure for us to undertake what is emerging as going to be a significant new exploration and minerals industry in Timor-Leste. The board's reasonably strong. I have been directly involved in junior mining companies for the past 20 years. I raised money for junior mining companies for a period of 8 years as a broker. I'm supported by a strong geological team, Steve Warriner and Bo Nichols, and we have a very enthusiastic in-country team which we've just boosted. So it's all very new for Timor, with the first mineral titles awarded in late October 2023, and granting occurred in March of this year. I had the pleasure of being granted tenements 1, 2 and 3 by Shanana Guzmao, the president of Timor-Leste, who's absolutely revered. He's the Nelson Mandela of Timor-Leste. He's a beautiful man, and I had the pleasure to have a dinner with him, and obviously being awarded the very first concessions in Timor was an honour. We've been awarded through an international tender that we pre-qualified for, and we've been granted 125 square kilometres, which we then boosted out to 500 square kilometres through RPs, which are reconnaissance permits. And then subsequently in the last month or so, we've been the first ever company to get direct grant tenure in an area which I'll show you in a minute. It's just quite spectacular, to 700 square kilometres. So we now are the largest mineral tenement holder in the country. And that's significant when you're a first mover into what I believe is a fantastic destination for minerals exploration. So what we have in Timor is the potential for manganese in particular. Recent field work has confirmed the potential with a number of high-grade manganese prospects being discovered. As you can see in this photo, it's pretty easy. You just walk across the field, it's either white or black. What we're finding is the local villages, when we go into various areas, we take a piece of manganese, we show the local villagers and farmers and we say, have you seen any of this? And they say, yeah, come over here, and they take us down the creeks or they take us over a hill, and there it is. It's just, there it is, at surface outcropping. Grade, we've seen grades in excess of 40, 50% regularly. So What we've discovered through the work, and you can see in this slide the extent, we're in the northeastern section of Timor-Leste, on the northern side of the country, which has a lower rainfall, although there is a wet season coming. The recent grant of the Buccal licences in the red, which was an extra 200 square kilometres, importantly cover a key formation which we've noted in the country called the Noni Formation, which looks to be the host of the manganese. And that's been important as we've been moving around the field, because there is a marker horizon that we've been able to identify, and subsequent to that we've been able to make these discoveries relatively quickly. In the past 6 months we've managed to uncover 4 high-grade manganese prospects. 2 key ones are the Seeker supergene discovery. It's quite extensive. It's been mapped over a few hundred metres. The assay grades are 46 to 59% from the labs, and that work's ongoing. We'll be looking to do trenching and then some IP on that particular ground shortly. And one that we've just announced in the Samilari discovery, that is, in one word, spectacular. It's 1.7 kilometres long so far and open. It's 2 to 6 metres wide, supergene, high grade, 40 to 50% manganese. Is 40 to 50% manganese good grade? It's world class. So with a bulk commodity like manganese, you need infrastructure. We have a 2-lane highway that was built only 2 years ago that we can access from Dili all the way to the port of Com out to the east. It's a 2.5-hour drive to Buccal, which is at our first licences, and then another 1.5 hours to the port of Com. The manganese occurrences that we've found only are situated 5 to 7.5 kilometres off the main highway on the coast. Considering the grade, the location, logistics in bulk commodities is everything, and it has everything going for it. We've got a joint venture with the state-run mining company in Murat Rai. We made this decision very early in our pre-tender process that we would team up with the national government. Murat Rai is the National Mining Services Company. They are free carried 30% in all of our projects to a decision to mine, and then upon decision to mine they either contribute or revert back to a 2% NSR. And the reason for that is in the mining code in Timor-Leste, they have the ability to buy into a project up to 30% at the time of decision to mine. And we thought that's a little bit dangerous in that they're the government, they're the ones handing out the mining licences at the time you apply. And if you can't come to an agreement on the price of what the value of the product is that you've discovered and you're going to mine, well, it's too bad because they're the decision makers. So we decided to get in bed with them early. They're sitting beside us. We work very well with them. They're out in the field doing their own things, so maybe one day they might find something and decide that they might want to partner with us. So that's a very important relationship, and obviously that relationship goes all the way to the top in the country. I can say in my work in Western Australia, I've probably met the Mines Minister once or twice and had a coffee and maybe had a chat. In Timor-Leste, such a small country, and being a first mover, I have regular access to the ministers, right to the top, and we can explain to them what we're doing and why we're doing it, and we've got their ear, which is fantastic. And we're building up that in-country relationship continually. We're out in the field, we're talking to the local villagers and we're helping them. It is a very, very poor country, and I feel privileged to be out there and being able to aid and abet and help these people progress their nation. And you know, the mining industry in Timor, once it gets going, these people will pull themselves out of poverty. So I guess the next steps for us is that we'll continue on with the exploration work in the field. We'll look to uncover more manganese, high-grade manganese prospects. We've got our eye open for gold and copper. There is known occurrences of gold and copper in our leases that were documented by the Portuguese. They were there for 400 years, although we haven't taken our eye off them, but we're not focused on that at the moment. But we are assaying for gold on a regular basis. We will be doing some IP work to try and identify the manganese and supergene blankets that we've uncovered at surface, and looking for drill targets, and we'll be looking to drill those targets in the near term. So there's a lot of work to be done. Manganese, where is it? I've just thrown in a slide in relation. It's like all other metals. Manganese in particular is used in the steel industry for hardening steel. That's its main usage, but the battery metals and the critical metals arena, obviously manganese is growing in demand. It's used both in ICE vehicles and in EV vehicles, more so in the EV vehicles and the new battery chemistries that are occurring. They're looking to use more manganese, so that's a good thing if you've got plenty of manganese. Some investment highlights. Look, we're first mover into a country that's highly prospective. We've got strong support from the local government. That's very, very important. And we're looking to establish an industry and be the first miner in the country. That's really what we're trying to do for Australia. And with that in mind, I know I'll flick through it pretty quickly. All of our announcements are on the ASX. I'd love you to go back and have a look at the last 6 months. Our share price has increased 200% in the last couple of months. Where's it going? I think it's going up. I'll be pretty frank. It's up from here. So I'll leave you with a bit of an experience, bit of music. My experience in the last 6 months, Timor-Leste. Hopefully you get a little bit out of it and you can see what Estrella have been doing and where we've been operating. Enjoy, and please come and say hello. Thanks very much for your attendance and listening in.